Before I begin cutting, I wanted to note that I actually marked the template out on both sides. I had to do that because I realized that once I started making this cut here, I wouldn't be able to get in because of the back part of the saw. So by marking it out on the other side, I'll be able to make this cut. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, there we are. It's pretty rough at this point. You can still see my line. And we'll take it over to the edge sander now and clean this up. I'm going to clean up my bandsaw cuts now on this edge sander. And just a couple of notes before I get started. It has a brand new belt on it, which is going to be very aggressive. So I'm going to have to be really careful how I do this. And secondly, the rotation of the belt is going this way. And so what we want to do is we want to keep on the feed side with our material. We never want to get over here like this, because what will happen is with the belt coming this way, it'll shoot it back at you. It's kind of like kickback on a table saw. Not as bad as that, but it will scare you. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll probably clean this area up right up here on this little spindle sander, because I can't get in there to get that with this. I can at least get part of it here, and then I'll hand sand the rest of it. So let's go ahead and get this going. All right, that looks pretty clean. Now we're going to bore the hole for our dowel. Now we're going to bore the holes in our sides for the handle. And although the handle is 1 1/4 inches in diameter, we're only going to bore a 3/4 inch hole here in the sides. And then we'll create this little shoulder on the handle. It's kind of a nice look. So what I'm going to do is take the original template that we made earlier, and I'm going to place it on here again. And I'm going to use the same center for this radius for our hole. So that'll be the center of my 3/4 inch hole right there. All right, and I've got a nice little mark on there. So I'm going to now swivel this over until I get lined up. And that looks just right. And I'm ready to drill. One thing I do want to mention before I start is it's really important to hold this piece down so that it's tight against this piece of melamine, or you'll get tear out on the back side. I know, because the one I did before this got tear out. So trust me on that one. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Hopefully I made it all the way through. And of course I did not, so I'm going to have to go again here. All right, well, let's go over to the table saw and we'll cut the shoulders on our handle. Now we're going to use a special jig on the table saw. This is a sled. It's got a protective plexiglass covering over it. And then I made a block of wood with a V-cut in it. And the V-cut is going to allow me to place the dowel in here and then rotate it, turn it. My only problem is I've got to somehow limit how far I go in and out, and I'm going to do that with this little donut that I made. And it's going to fit over the dowel like this, and then I'll get it adjusted right where I want it, and then I can just spin it and then just pull it away. And as I pull it away, I'll make this shoulder here, and then I'll flip it over, do it on the other side. Now to get this end, this shoulder or this dowel end at 3/4 of an inch so that it fits in here perfectly, it takes a little bit of trial and error. So we're just going to have to try a couple of passes here, see how it fits. I've got 2 dowels, and we'll try it on one of them and see how we do. And then we'll do some adjusting, and then we'll do our real dowel. Okay, so we'll get started. The diameter of these dowels are not consistent, so we have to use tape to sort of shim it out in there so that it will fit. Okay. right, here we go. All right, let's see how this fits. Actually fits pretty good. That's not bad for the first try. I think I'll go with that. It's kind of tight, but that's good. It'll loosen up over time. So let me pull these apart. The other thing we need to look at is, did we go deep enough? And it looks like we need to go just a little bit deeper. So we will continue on. Nice and flush. All right, now we're going to flip it over and do the other end. And the best way to do this is to take the piece up against the saw blade and then measure the gap over here on the other side, and it should equal 1/2 inch. And I've got to move it over a little bit. Just a little bit more. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to go a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Now we can do the other end. right, check and see that it fits nice and flush. Well, now we're ready to assemble our box. Let's go do it.